All right, try 3, 1, 2. We're live.
All right, fantastic. All right, welcome everybody to our hopefully very short but very sweet 20-minute Try and Shy podcast with me, Coach Brian, Coach Joy, and Coach Chris. And welcome to hashtag LFG Monday. Thank you for letting our nerd flags fly because it is the launch of the Deadpool Wolverine official trailer today. So excited.
Let's effing go.
There you go. And that will come back for our final question of the day for our athletes out there watching. So a bit of our rundown for this Monday. We are going to do a bit of weekend updates, talking about the London Marathon, Collegiate Nationals that was just this weekend, a new announcement by the Super Tri for the Chicago Triathlon and their new race series for the pros. We have an indoor triathlon update from this past weekend and a preview going into next. And then we've got a little coach's corner for you guys today, which we'll talk about some bike handling skills, gear replacement, and another pool school coming up here in the city of Chicago. So with that being said, Coach Joy, tell us a little bit about the London Marathon.
So yesterday was the London Marathon, which is the third race in the 6-star series if you're doing the World Marathon Majors. So Perez Jepchirchir won the women's race in 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 16 seconds, breaking the women's only marathon record by almost a minute.
Wow.
That's been held since 2017. And Alexander Mutiso for the men's won in 2 hours, 4 minutes, 1 second. So this is not for the women's race, is not the current world record, which is 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 53 seconds, which was broken last year at Berlin by Tixta Asefa, who's from Ethiopia. She placed second in London. But also, just know that if you're interested in the London Marathon for 2025, the lottery is open right now.
Excellent.
And it closes soon, too,
It
right?
does close soon.
This Friday?
I believe it's this Friday, but there's also a chance if you do not get in, there's a second chance drawing.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you, Coach Joy.
Thank you.
Coach Chris, so we had Collegiate Nationals this weekend, did we not?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. In the triathlon world, the big news is the Chicago Tri. So the Chicago Tri just announced that they're bringing the professional race back, and it's going to be a race that starts after the age group race on Sunday. And we don't know for sure any more specifics, but it may or may not be a more unique format like the other Super Tri races that are smaller circuit. And it'll be right after the Olympics. So we expect a lot of the Olympic athletes fresh off the Olympics and their best fitness ever will be doing these races. So it should be super exciting to see that at the Chicago Tri. So big news there.
So yeah, it looks like the series will begin August 18th in Boston, followed by Chicago, August 25th, London, September 8th, Toulouse, October 6th, and Nyon on November 3rd. So, I mean, it's like back to back right afterwards. So it should be fun to watch. And they're still touting it as their traditional like Super Tri League series where it's a 1 mile course, fast and furious, back to back swim, bike, run in various rotations. I'll be interested to see how they pull this off here in downtown Chicago. The way that they're promoting it is everything should look pretty much the same as far as the super sprint, the kids race on Saturday, the sprint and the international or Olympic distance on Sunday. And then they promote as the pro race Sunday afternoon. So they're like, hey, come race and then stay to watch for the pros. So it'll be interesting to see how they pull that off. I mean, I'm assuming we're going to be there all day anyway. So hopefully the TRI312 crew will be there to also broadcast and promote and showcase however that pro race turns out. So I'm excited. You guys excited?
Oh, I'm excited.
All right.
And if you post or comment on the video, reach out to us that we may or may not have a 10% off discount code to the Chicago Tri. So reach out, get signed up, and expect big things. And on race weekend, I would say plan to stick around after the race. I think the pro race will start at 12:30, give or take ish. So after most of the age groupers have finished, so it should make it a big, long festival day on Sunday. Should be pretty cool.
Okay, cool. On the collegiate side, anything coming up or going on?
Last weekend, we didn't get to do a really good recap, but USA Triathlon had their collegiate nationals. And there were a lot of different athletes racing from all different club teams. We didn't have that, or collegiate teams. We didn't have a lot in the Chicago area racing. I think the only one I saw notably on the top of the results were, I think in Wisconsin. One of our local coaches from Milwaukee, he was coaching the Liberty University team this year, and they finished top 20. He had several athletes in the top 20. So shout out to the Liberty University squad. They were doing pretty well. But there was a little bit of a controversy. I guess they have a weekend of races. They have a draft legal and then Olympic distance. And I think it was the Olympic distance. The first couple athletes coming out of the water went the wrong way on the bike course.
Oops.
So I didn't get all the full details, but it sounded like they might have done at least a half mile or more off course. They either didn't know the course, whoever was in the lead, or they said some of the cones were blocked by spectators or something, made it distracting. So the official results took a while to get posted, but it's exciting to see how big that race is getting now. So the sport is growing quite a bit, and
Yeah. So I know we don't have a ton of time today, but real quickly, differentiate for our viewers, what the difference is between the club teams that are out there, which there are plenty, versus the more getting ready to be championship sport for and women's athletics collegially, and the difference between those.
Yeah, there's a lot of collegiate club teams, which basically can, like Northwestern locally as a club team, men and women, people can sign up just like a local college club of any kind. And they go and they compete at different events. There's also the NCAA Division 1 through 3 system, where it's a women's sport. And in Chicago, actually, they just announced that starting this fall, Chicago State University is going to have the first local here Division 1 women's triathlon program, which we're excited to see. We're hoping to maybe get them on the show to chat a little bit more about that as they're building out. I think they just started building or renovated a pool.
Still renovating.
And they're hiring a new coach, which it sounds like they might have soon. So there'll be some interesting updates.
And to make it more significant, with Chicago State University is the third HBCU college to have a women's NCAA Division 1 team.
Cool.
Yeah, so a lot of exciting things in the triathlon world going on locally.
Speaking of local triathlon goings on, so we also had an indoor triathlon this past weekend here at the Lakeshore Fitness Center downtown, and we have one coming up, our last one for our winter spring series at Edgewater Athletic Club this coming Saturday afternoon. Chris, any updates from this past weekend?
Yeah, it was fun. Our usual format here downtown at Lakeshore Sport and Fitness. We had a fun, several people taking advantage of our new division. So we have a duathlon division in addition to the triathlon, and relay division. So we had a family compete as a relay team.
Nice.
Cool.
So getting some new fun divisions going. Even if you can't swim, if you have a family member who can swim, you can do a relay team and get into the sport. So that was pretty exciting.
Nice.
And then, we have our final event of the series up at Edgewater. And that's an afternoon race with a social hour afterwards. So it'll be a fun way to finish off the season. We will also be raffling off, I don't know if I brought it today. I might have. A pair of Form swim goggles.
Ooh.
This is the new Form 2. We have a pair of the old Form 1s. And we actually have a couple others, but we're going to be raffling off Form swim goggles to anyone who participated in the series this year. So anyone who comes and competes and finishes gets entered in the raffle. And then also, if you make a donation to the USA Triathlon Foundation, we'll raffle it off at the social event on Saturday.
Sweet. So. Very cool. All right. That's a lot of fun. I mean, that's worth the price of admission right there.
Right.
Okay. So moving on, we have got a couple things from the three of us about some advice and some tips, our Coach's Corner. So on some swimming news, we do have a new pool school coming up. Is it August? That's the plan?
Yeah, it's not open for registration yet, but we are expecting to have that registration opening soon. Pool school Right now, the date tentatively, if you want to pencil it in, August 10th to 11th. So good way to cram in some final swim training before the Chicago Tri potentially, or in the fall Ironman or half Ironman races. So if you want to get, I think we did over almost 15. The average participant improved over 15% on their 100 free times.
And that was right on that same average for the one that was just in Boston this past weekend. Was right at 15%. So, okay. So if you have ever been interested, have heard about this thing called Pool School, the improvements are consistent. They're across the board. It's very simple. It's a full 2-day weekend, 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday. We do dinners, we do social hours, we do lunch afterwards on Sunday. So come out, come all. I believe we usually have anywhere between 28 to 32 participants for this event. So they fill up very quickly. And again, just, sign up as soon as you can, and we'll get you the announcement as soon as that goes out.
Yep.
All right. Chris, let's talk about some bike handling skills, a little coach's corner on how important that is.
Yeah. So cycling news. So I recently, this past weekend, just a couple of days ago, did the Barry-Roubaix gravel race. This is the world's largest gravel race. It's actually just a couple hours away. Hastings, Michigan, and it was a blast. I've done a couple of smaller gravel events, but nothing that was, I call this a true gravel event. A lot of up and down, dismounting your bike to run through sand pits and some trails. A little bit of an obstacle course in some areas, and a lot of rolling terrain. More elevation gain than the full Ironman Wisconsin course in about half the distance.
Whoa.
So.
Yikes.
100 kilometers, big race, thousands of people, big festival, nice little town with restaurants.
Cool.
But the main point about talking about this is really for triathletes to think about working on their bike handling skills and doing things like this, getting a little comfortable, getting uncomfortable, learning how to handle your bike in different scenarios really builds confidence. For me, it was actually challenging because only maybe 10% of the whole course was on paved roads. And so it forced me to get really efficient at reaching for my water bottle to drink and eat, and being able to do that because it's hard on most of the gravel terrain to feel comfortable enough to, take one hand off the handlebar when you're going over holes and bumps and rocks all the time. So putting yourself in those scenarios might seem scary, but my goal wasn't necessarily to go fast or hard. It was just to not crash and finish the event with a smile. And that was a success for me. But yeah, that's the biggest thing, is to get on your bike. Don't just be on the trainer all day. As much as I love being on the trainer and doing most of my workouts indoors, it's important to work on those bike handling skills.
Would you say that at least a couple of times during someone's training block is to just get outside and, without worrying about power or effort or even distance, is just going out and getting comfortable with those things, like clipping onto your bike if you've never done that before, grabbing your water bottle, maybe if you think you're going to need to grab nutrition when you're out there, especially on a long course event, having a friend or a family member go out there and help hand you a water bottle or a banana or whatever that may be. But would that be something y'all would always recommend to a client?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, this event did have aid stations, even though I brought all my own stuff to be self-sufficient, getting used to grabbing a water bottle. I think we talked about that before.
Right.
But just, get out there and put the time in, even if it's on the lakefront trail, riding on the lakefront trail and getting used to, putting stuff in your pocket, pulling stuff out, opening wrappers, any little time like that is working on your comfort and confidence on the bike. And the better you get at that, the better you can perform on race day.
And it'll save you time.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Speaking of gear, Coach Joy, Coach's Corner about making sure your equipment is ready to go and working properly and up to date leading into race season. How important is that?
Oh, it's very important. So we're in full race season now. Triathlon, a lot of people are training for their triathlons, marathons, gravel races, whatever. Check the gear that you have. And I mean clothing. Check to see your gear from last year. Is it still functioning? Are there holes in it? Like your cycling shorts or tri shorts, are they see-through from behind? Ladies, sports bras. Are they over a year old? Your sports bras should not be over a year old. Your cycling shoes, your cleats. A lot of people don't replace their cleats. They keep the same cleats they've had them on for 5, 10, 15 years. Check your cleats, check your pedals. This is the perfect time now. So when you get to race day, you're not worrying about, am I going to have a wardrobe malfunction, or am I going to have a gear or equipment malfunction?
Yep, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that reminded me. I looked at my cleats the other day, and from all the indoor training I've been doing all winter, the cleats have rusted.
Oh,
so I need to
yikes.
replace my cleats. That's a good mention too. The BFF Bike Shop is doing a garage sale on May 4th, I believe.
Yep.
If you go on their website, you can sign up to be a buyer or a seller. So if you want to empty out some of your old tri gear, it's a great place to sell it. You can either sell it for profit or have it be donated to the charities that the event actually benefits.
Yeah.
And I empty out my closet there all the time, so I'll have some good stuff I'm getting rid of and looking to sell.
So you can purchase more stuff.
Yeah. No, this is great, because I've always been trying to figure out like what's the best way to do that, and the more we can kind of pay it forward.
Yep.
Again, I know when I started out, it was great to like try to be able to do things on a budget. And for those that are getting into the sport, we have picked a pretty like lofty financial hobby to participate in. So if you can kind of find some things that can help you along the way to get started on a budget, especially if you're not quite sure if this is a sport you want to invest in long term, the more that you can find some things like this to help you out financially, the better.
So, even like the expensive tech gadgets like the Form swim goggles. I'll probably be selling my old pair of Form 1s because I just bought the new ones. So it's a great place to get even some nice high-end stuff at a low price.
Wheel sets, wetsuits,
bike trainers, you name it. So, all right. I think that's about all the time we do have for today. But before we send you off, since it is LFG Day, it's Deadpool Wolverine Day, our question to the group, and please comment down below, if you were to choose a training partner, all reasons apply, but please be thorough in the commentary as to why. Would you choose Ryan Reynolds or Huge Jacked Man for your training partner? Anybody have a preference?
Hugh Jackman.
Okay. Chris?
I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool to have Deadpool join in a workout or just do a triathlon. So I'd go for Ryan Reynolds.
I think, you know what? I'm going to have to go with Hugh Jackman. Wolverine's my boy. But also, it might be the most fun workout you've ever done with Ryan Reynolds. I think you would be distracted probably most
the
of
whole
the time.
time.
We should challenge both of them. Get both of them to come and do an
Chicago
indoor triathlon in Chicago.
LFG, baby. Chicago Triathlon,
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds, Huge Jackman. Let's go, LFG. We look forward to seeing your movie on July 26th. All right. Thanks, everybody. For me, Coach Brian, Coach Joy, Coach Chris. Thanks for everybody for watching. This is TRI312, Trying the Shy.
Yeah, see you guys trying in the Shy.
Have a great one.
And
there we go.
Yeah.